Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Dana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamunatiramanachari Jaya Kunjabihari Jaya Yamunatiramanachari Jaya Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjabihari Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Do we have to say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, we are reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Ādi-līlā, chapter 3, text 96 and 97. I will read 96 and we will repeat together 97. Prakatiya dekya charya sakata samsara Krishna bhakti gandahina vishaya vyavahara. Translation. Advaita Acharya, having appeared, he found the world devoid of devotional service to Sri Krishna because people were engrossed in material affairs. 97. Keha pape, keha punye, kare vishaya boga, bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya bhava roga. Keha pape, keha paye, kare vishaya boga, bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya. Keha pape, keha punye, kare vishaya boga, bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya bhava roga. This chant. Keha pape, keha punye, kare vishaya boga, bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya bhava roga. Keha pape, keha punye, kare vishaya boga, bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya bhava roga. Ladies. Keha pape, keha punye, kare vishaya boga, bhakti ganda nahi yate yaya bhava roga. Keha, someone, pape, in sinful activities. Keha, someone, punye, in pious activities. Kare, do, vishaya, of the sense objects. Boga, enjoyment. Bhakti ganda, a trace of devotional service. Nahi, there is not. Yate, by which. Yaya, goes away. Bhava roga, the disease of material existence. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Everyone was engaged in material enjoyment, whether sinfully or virtuously. No one was interested in the transcendental service of the Lord, which can give total relief from the repetition of birth and death. Purport. Advaita Acharya saw the entire world to be engaged in activities of material piety and impiety, without a trace of devotional service or Krishna consciousness anywhere. The fact is that in this material world, there is no scarcity of anything except Krishna consciousness. Material necessities are supplied by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. We sometimes feel scarcity because of our mismanagement, but the real problem is that people are out of touch with Krishna consciousness. Everyone is engaged in material sense gratification, but people have no pain for making an ultimate solution. People have no plan for making an ultimate solution to their real problems, namely birth, disease, old age, and death. These four material miseries are called bhava roga, or material diseases. They can be cured only by Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is the greatest benediction for human society. Again, two verses. Advaita Acharya, having appeared, he found the world devoid of devotional service to Sri Krishna because people were engrossed in material affairs. Everyone was engaged in material enjoyment, whether sinfully or virtuously. No one was interested in the transcendental service of the Lord, which can give total relief from the repetition of birth and death. Magyana timirandasya ginanjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Didati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. There is a place in Mayapur which is called Shantipur, and this is the place where actually, in a sense, everything started. Because Advaita Acharya was living on this place, and he became more and more conscious about the absurd situation in the material world, how everyone was forgetting about Krishna, no one was interested in devotional service, and everyone was trying to enjoy this world in a pious or in a sinful way, but everything was for their personal sense gratification. And this is the place where Advaita Acharya prayed for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He read in scripture that with Ganges water and Tulasi leaves, the Lord cannot refuse the prayers of such a person. And this is what he started to do. Every day he would go to a small branch of Ganges, which was very close to his house, and he would worship the Supreme Lord, and he will, in a very prayerful mood, he would ask the Supreme Lord to appear. And again he will do that. And this is the place where later Srila Prabhupada went. When seeing the same thing, he wanted to come to the West to give the only medicine to the conditioned souls. The only medicine, the only thing that can make a difference in the life of the misguided people, in the consciousness of the misguided civilization. This is the place where he went and where he prayed again and again and again. And he cried while chanting Hare Krishna. And this is the place also where he went later when he became successful. When he came, when he preached, and when he brought his Western disciples back to India. And when the Pujari of Shantipur temple saw again this Swamiji coming with his disciples coming, he was amazed because he remembered this person that was coming again and again praying there for the mercy of Advaita Acharya, for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And when these Western boys and girls started appearing there, he was amazed and very happy at the same time. Wow, now the prediction is being manifested. Now Krishna consciousness is available for the whole world, for everyone, even for the most fallen. So, by the mercy of Advaita Acharya and his powerful prayers, and by the mercy of empowered personality as Srila Prabhupada, what was said that will happen in the future, it really happened. It became reality. I heard that His Grace Burijam Prabhu made interesting presentation during the centennial of Srila Prabhupada, 1996. He made this presentation, which was starting with picture of New York. And then in the next picture, he showed America. Then in the next picture, he showed planet Earth, and then the cosmos. And then in this way, gradually, he was going up and up and up in the universe, going to Shiva Loka, and then Vaikuntha. And then at the end, he went all the way to Goloka Vrindavan. And then he had a picture from 26 Second Avenue with all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada dancing and singing kirtan. And he said, this is the greatest power in the universe. A power that can give the highest thing, the love between Radha and Krishna from Goloka Vrindavana to the lowest people. And this is by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. This is what he did. So, people, they are confused and they don't know actually where to find real happiness. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining, why is that? The only problem in this world is the lack of Krishna consciousness. Because people, they don't have enough Krishna consciousness, they are fighting for the resources of the material world. Everyone is thinking, this is mine, and I have the right to enjoy this. But the problem is that everyone is thinking like that. We have 8 billion gods here on this world. Not demigods, real gods, full-fledged gods. And they are fighting again and again and again to grab as much as possible. And this is the real problem. And that's why people are suffering in this world. So if we understand the reality, Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjitaha ma gridat kasya svidana. If we understand this, if we understand that nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to Krishna, then there will be no problems anymore, no quarrels, no fighting. Because everything belongs to one personality. And whatever he gives to each one of us, this is what we are going to use and be happy in this life. Easy to say, not so easy to be done. But think about it. Can you imagine? You find a special lamp and you try to clean the lamp, and from the lamp comes the genie, and the genie tells you, I can fulfill all your desires, anything you want. Just tell me, what is your desire? What do you want? Only material stuff. Think about it. I'm here, I'm waiting for you. Right, Pran, what's your material desire? Good weather. You don't want anything to eat, like pizza. Okay, you have it. Pizza. What else? Job. Good job. How much salary you want? Tell me. Tell me. There is no borders. Whatever you want. $1 million a month. $1 million. No problem. I'll give you $1 million a week. What about that, huh? Good? Okay, Phil, what's your desire? What do you want? Some pizza? Okay, Kalashi pizza. You're almost materially exhausted. Okay. So you can get anything you want. Anything, anything, anything. Unlimited. But there is one problem. What is the problem? You don't have to pay. I'm the genie. I can give you anything without paying, no problem. But there is only one, I have only one condition, okay? At the end, I will kill you. Are you agreeing to the deal? As many pizzas as you like. But at the end, after enjoying, I will kill you. But this is material world. Material world means you try to squeeze out of it as much as possible, and at some point, the death comes. And it doesn't matter how many things you have, everything stays here. You cannot take anything with you. And that is the reality. So, Srila Prabhupada is saying, material necessities are supplied by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. He can give us everything that we really need. But the rest of our time and energy, better to use it to develop our Krishna consciousness. This is the thing that we can take with us. This is the thing can last. Everything else will stay here and we cannot do anything about it. Sometimes people, they think that there is scarcity in this world. Oh, why there is no job for me? Why there is no enough money for me? There is no scarcity. Srila Prabhupada explains, there is no scarcity. There is enough for everyone. There is enough for the needs of everyone to be easily covered. What is the problem? The problem is mismanagement or the lack of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is giving very interesting example. He is saying, we have a certain amount of human beings on this earth, yes? But actually the other species, they are much, much more than the human beings. Like many more billions. And still God is providing food for each one of them every single day. So what is then the problem for the Lord to arrange the food only for the human beings? It's a joke. This earth can give the food of so many more living entities. What is the problem of 8 billion human beings? Not a problem at all. So material necessities are not a problem. The problem is the lack of spiritual vision, the lack of Krishna consciousness. Anartopasamam sakshat bhakti yoga madokshaje lokasya janato vidvams chakra satvata samhitam. Anartopasamam sakshat bhakti yoga madokshaje. Srila Vyasadeva, he could see that all the miseries, all the problems of the living entities, they can be mitigated immediately by the process of devotional service. But what is the problem? Lokasya ajanata. People, they don't know that. People, they don't know. Lokasya ajanato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. That's why Srila Vyasadeva decided to create this Sattva Samhita, this Bhagavad Purana, to give knowledge of the people. What is the real solution? What is the real remedy? Interesting enough, in these two verses, in both verses, the same word is used. Does someone knows what is the word? Okay, I'll tell you. Bhakti Ganda Nahi. What is Nahi? No, doesn't have. Bhakti is devotional service. And Ganda? Huh? No, fragments, yes. So Advaita Acharya could see that people, they don't have even even like a trace, a fragrance of bhakti in their life. And he wanted to benefit them. So this process of devotional service actually can benefit all the living entities. Just by engaging ourselves in hearing, in chanting about Krishna, activities of Krishna, the name of Krishna, qualities of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, our consciousness can change. We can see the reality in a different way. Everything can change just by this hearing and chanting. That's why Lochan Das Thakur is saying, Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrita Vishwa Sakori. Just worship Chaitanya Nitai in your heart. How? Vishayacharya Sera Semajia Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. Just give up bad activities in your life, give up sinful activities, live a normal human life, pure life, and with your mouth just repeat Hari Hari. Just repeat the names of Krishna, then your life will be successful. You don't need anything else. This is sufficient. So this process of bhakti can cure our bhava roga, our material disease. But what is the important factor? We have to take the medicine every day in the prescribed dose from a physician. Who is the physician? Spiritual master. So if we do that, if we take our medicine every single day, and if we take it in the right dose, then the medicine would work and we will become cured. Now sometimes we may think, oh, no problem, I'm not so sick. I'll take my medicine once a week. Why have to take it every day? Anyway, I'm fine, no problem. So what will happen then? Maya will catch us for the throat and we will start squeezing. No, please forgive me. Have mercy on me. But this is what's happening, more or less. Every day that we don't take our medicine, every day that we are not serious about our chanting, about reading of the books of Srila Prabhupada, about having enough hearing and chanting in our day, Maya is catching us for the throat. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be the greatest devotee. You can go in front of Maya and say, hey, I have 50 years of practice. You know who I am? And Maya will just slap you and you will go in the corner immediately. Finish. Battle finish just for 1 second. In front of Maya, we are very, very weak. And that's why we have to take our medicine very nicely, very seriously, every single day. There is difference between advanced devotees and neophyte devotees. Srila Prabhupada is saying neophyte devotees, they are not afraid from Maya. They think I'm already strong enough. Maya cannot do anything. But actually the mature devotees, they know the power of Maya. And they know their own weaknesses. And that's why they are very, very careful. They don't want to give any opportunity for Maya to strike them. This is the difference between neophyte devotees and the mature devotees in Krishna consciousness. One spiritual master in one class, he was explaining that a neophyte devotee, he is saying to Krishna, my dear Krishna, first you give me strong taste for Krishna consciousness. Once you give me the taste, then I dedicate myself to Krishna consciousness. No problem. I'll do anything you tell me to do, but first give me the taste. But actually the mature devotees, experienced devotees, they have such a strong faith that they know, if I follow seriously the process, definitely something good will come out of it. I don't know what will be exactly. I'm not still mature enough in my Krishna conscious life. I don't know what will be the consequences. But I know definitely it will be good because I have faith in the words of my spiritual master. That's why I'm ready to dedicate myself to the process. So first they dedicate themselves to the process, and then everything good will come out of it. So this is one big difference between Kanishta devotees and Madhyama devotees. What is the meaning of Kanishta? What is Nishta? Yes, and faith. Yes? And what is Ka? Kinka, yes. What is it? Where is it? So where is the faith? How much faith he has? Not a lot of faith, very little faith. And Madhyama means someone who is in the middle. So his faith is quite mature, quite strong. And Uttama means, yes, he is the top level. He is Uttama, beyond the darkness of the material existence. One time I was in Mayapur, and because with Panda we spend lots of time in Mayapur and we have many friends. And one of them is a very senior devotee, disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj. His name is Ganga Prabhu. He lives there since 78 or 9, whatever. So he's a good friend of ours. He invited us many times in his house, and he makes amazing pizza because he's from Italy. And Neapolo. And one time he came to me and he said, "My son is getting married, so please come to the wedding." And he's Italian. Italian people, they don't like to say no. They're very sentimental people and sensitive. You have to be careful. So I was wondering, what shall I do now? I mean, brahmacharis, generally, they don't go to weddings, especially in the Dham, like Vrindavan, Mayapur. It's kind of a little bit awkward if you're brahmachari and you go to weddings. Maybe you can go sometimes to serve, but just like a guest to the wedding. But okay, on the other side, Ganga Prabhu, so I didn't know what to do, and I was thinking. And then with Panda, we make a plan. Okay, only one of us will go, and only very shortly, just to show some respect. So I was the chosen one. And I went there, and of course, like Jagannath Mandir, huge wedding. Ganga Prabhu, he's already on the entry, waiting for the guests to come. He was so happy when he saw me, embraced me. Please enter inside, have a drink. And then I was kind of staying there a little bit aloof because, social scene. And I was waiting. And then, okay, one more brahmachari came. Jani Vas Prabhu. And Jani Vas Prabhu, he's Uttama. And then I was staying for a while, and one of my teachers was there, Ananta Tirtha Prabhu. We are also good friends with him. So at some point he came close to me and he embraced me and he said, "Do you feel something awkward here in this scene?" I said, "No, Prabhu, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, you're the awkward thing. Your place is not here. Do you see some other brahmachari around?" I said, "Well, no." He said, "Well, I see only one." He said, "Janivas Prabhu. But you know what's the difference? He's with the 2 feet already in the spiritual world. But you are not. So you better, if you like, I can give you some persona, but I don't think it's the best place for you to be." So I said, "Thank you very much, Prabhu." And yes, I used the opportunity and I found my way out. Everyone was happy, Ganga Prabhu was happy. I got my persona. They cook nice prasada on these weddings, But the point was that those kind of personalities, they are uttama. They are with two feet already in the spiritual world. So for us, we are not uttama, and maybe we are madhyama. Some of us definitely. Some of us may be uttama, but most of us we are kanishta. Our faith is very weak. And our practice is weak. And this is our fight now in our spiritual life, to situate ourselves very nicely in the process. to become very serious by following the process. Sometimes devotees, they speak about Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and they speak about Raganuga sadhana bhakti. And sometimes you can hear the devotees explaining that, well, you know, when you advance a lot in spiritual life, and then it doesn't matter what you do. Like, you may follow the rules, you may not follow the rules, because it doesn't matter. Now you have bhav in your heart. You have like personal attraction to the Supreme Lord. Then the rules and regulations, they don't matter anymore. They did their job. Now you can get rid of those rules and regulations. However, practically we see that the great personalities that are very, very seriously established in bhakti, that they have really this bhav in their hearts, they don't act in this way. Like we hear about the six Goswamis from Vrindavan, they were so firmly situated in their spiritual practice. It is said that their spiritual practice externally was like written on a stone. It wouldn't change even like a millimeter, even for one day. So strict were they. And yeah, so many examples of great personalities that were so strict externally about their spiritual practice. Why is that? Because they are getting something very precious. And because they have something very precious, and they are very afraid to lose it. That's why they don't want to take any risk. That's why they are so strict. They want to be able to experience this taste at every moment. That's why they are so strict. So actually, the more advanced one becomes, one thing that we can see, one symptom that we can see in his external appearances, he'll be very serious about his or her spiritual practice, about following the rules and regulations. He'll be very, very, very serious. So, yeah, it shows that that's like the secret for us. If we are really serious about following the process, taking our medicine every day, very soon we'll be cured, and then we'll be able to experience the happiness, the bliss of Krishna consciousness. What was this famous verse from Nectar of Instruction? Maybe Narada Muni can quote it for me, about the jaundice. Who knows this verse? Tannama sitapya vidya pitapi. Thank you very much. Okay, the third part of the verse says that every day, if regularly one takes his medicine, then very soon he will be cured and he will experience the happiness of Krishna consciousness. We will experience that actually the qualities, the form, the pastimes of Krishna, they are very sweet, sita. They are very, very, very sweet, like a sugar candy, like a sugar cane juice, even maybe more sweet than this. So yeah, let's help each other to be serious in following Krishna consciousness. You know, when you are with many devotees, you have a good social pressure. And it works actually very well for you, especially in the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Because even if you don't want, you gotta do it. So you are forced to make spiritual advancement. Sometimes when I'm in my country, I go to visit my parents for a few days. And every time I see the same thing. First day, everything is normal. Second day, I see my spiritual practice starts going down. Third day, half of my spiritual practice is already lost. So it's not so easy to maintain your spiritual life if you're alone. We need the association of the devotees. The more the better, as they say. I mean, not more than 10 in a room, but In a sense, the more, the better. And yes, yeah, let's be serious and let's help each other. When you see someone is struggling in spiritual life, just go and help him. Because then later you need help and you'll be lucky if someone comes and helps you. This is the only way we can make it in Kali Yuga. Otherwise, in Kali Yuga, all of us, we are weak. There are no strong people in Kali Yuga. Everyone is weak. So we need the help of the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions? Ramroy Prabhu. Chota mic.
In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, starting from verse 16, where the four types of pious persons who come to Krishna, ultimately to surrender, are described, all the way till verse 19, which is Bahunam Janmananante Jnanavamra Prapadyante. One who is actually in knowledge, Krishna considers the best. Prabhupada gives a very nice purport to that 19th verse, that one who understands that Krishna is that everything in this world is a perverted reflection of spiritual variegatedness. So there's just so much variety out there. And a verse like this, or the description of Advaitacharya, seeing the condition of the world, and Prabhupada saying, as the spiritual masters said, there is no scarcity of anything. This world is full. Like you were saying, the genie, you could have whatever you want, except there's no Krishna consciousness. And people don't address the real problems of life, bhava roga, repeated birth, death, disease, and old age. So you're very well realized understanding the importance of maintaining one's spiritual practice and doing it in association of devotees is based on this point that save and accept for the places that Krishna has provided, and especially for us, and specifically, and for the whole world. Srila Prabhupada, he built a house in which the whole world could live. There's nothing out there, zero. It's all just entanglement. But when everything is for the sake of preaching and expanding Krishna consciousness, then like we're an honored, like who was it? Charles Lindbergh. He flew across the Atlantic in 1927. If you ever walk downtown Broadway, Lower Manhattan, that's like actually the first place where New York City began. They have all of these like dates on the sidewalk of ticker tape parades, and you're honored at City Hall and given the key to the city. So we are the honored representatives of the Supreme Personality of God. We have the key to the whole city. But if we're in that right, focused consciousness, just like Srila Prabhupada is describing what is the platform of the topmost devotee, the Uttam, there's no question of him being bewildered or falling down. He could utilize everything and everyone in Christian service. But the intensity and the lack of a better word, severity of the position that we're in, it's a very precarious situation, and that everybody, save and except, coming to this position or point where they can actually execute sadhana bhakti as it is ordained and authorized by the acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada, in a very terrible situation. So that urgency should drive us like anything. And that is the mood of our acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. The other thing I wanted to describe was Mul Prakriti Devi Dasi. She was one of Prabhupada's premier book distributors, very powerful and very potent. And so she dedicated a good chunk of her life to interview many, many people who knew Srila Prabhupada, especially before Prabhupada came to the West. and she composed a book called Srila Prabhupada, The Friend to All. So she interviewed, or she was able to identify this Pujari at Shantipur. And if you look at Prabhupada Memories, the video, and put her name, Mul Prakriti Devi Dasi, she's very amazingly telling the story. So Srila Prabhupada would visit there regularly in his Grihastha days, and he would spend long, long time there. And, initially, this Bengali devotee, the Bajari, wasn't taking much notice, never really interacted or talked with him. But then, his saint, he came as a sannyasi, and he was crying and crying and crying. And we know that Prabhupada, he's in Calcutta and he has to travel to Bombay. No, he's in Bombay, he has to travel to Calcutta, where the boat, the Jaladuta, and he had taken his last darshan of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Samadhi. And along that, this is the last day, and Prabhupada's going to the boat. This is August 1965. So he goes to Shantipur, and he's crying and praying, and the Pujari comes. They've already had some relationship, and he's saying, said, "Why are you crying?" He said, "My spiritual master has given me an impossible mission. So I'm coming here," as you were saying, this is the place kind of where it all began. And just and of course, Lord Nityananda inviting or tricking Lord Chaitanya to take prasad at the house of Advaitacharya. This is such a sacred place where the Sankirtan movement began. And you are the servant here. I'm begging your mercy that I can be successful in my mission. Will you please give me your mercy? And he started to cry too, the Pujari, and they were embracing. And that's the last time he ever saw Srila Prabhupada. And so then later, when the Western disciples were coming, he realized that his dear friend had accomplished his mission. And he had gone to the Mayapur Chandradwaya Mandir. I think at that time it was only the Lotus building. And he went to the Pujari room, was serving Radha Madhava, and he had a Back to Godhead magazine that one of the devotees had given him. And he was saying, I know Srila Prabhupada, I know you're Swamiji. And he was just ecstatic that his mission was accomplished. So everyone should hear that memory and look at that book, many amazing accounts.
Thank you very much, bro. Very nice. Yes, Kalaitam Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. I had the fortune this year of going to Bagh Bazaar Temple, and they have a new museum there called the Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Museum. It's very beautiful if anybody goes to Calcutta. It's very beautiful on the way to Calcutta. And they have a lot of original stuff there. They even have something that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written, and also the original printing press that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati had. But one painting really caught everybody's eye that is referring to this verse from Caitanya-caritāmṛta is the state of Navadvip when Advaita Acharya is crying. It's quite a comical picture actually. They have many people like playing cards. They have many people, and actually the highlight of the picture, and this is confirmed that when people wanted to show their wealth in many ways, they would have marriages. So if the person who was showing us around the museum, he showed that the standard in Bengal was if you didn't have a daughter to get married, you would get two trees married. And actually the highlight was of the painting is they have this whole family on a palanquin, and on top of the palanquin were these two cats, and they were having cat marriages. And this is the state of Bengal. And so it was so pitiable to, and the Prabhu was mentioned, actually he was a sannyasi, he was giving us a tour. Maharaj, he was saying that how pitiable the society was, And then the next painting is Advaitacharya roaring, praying to Krishna. And I had a question that Advaitacharya, even though it seemed like it's all doomed, like and they're doing cat marriages, so it had degraded so much. He had such firm faith that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would reciprocate with his desires for the upliftment of society. Similarly, I was wondering how we could inculcate that faith in our own lives. That, of course, we're in a very similar situation, as maybe not me doing the crying part, but at least it seems very bleak and hopeless out there. How do we have that firm faith that Krishna will reciprocate with our desires for the upliftment of society?
Thank you. My personal experience is that, as I said, we are weak devotees, weak faith. It's very difficult when you're weak devotee to express unlimited compassion, because all the time you're thinking about yourself. What's my situation? What's my problems? What I have to do for me to be happy? So compassion is you stop thinking about yourself. You give yourself for others. This is real compassion. So practically, I think we have to connect our life with advanced devotees who have this, like uh, our leaders, our spiritual masters. They have this compassion because we see how they are dedicating their life day after day, year after year, for just for the benefit of others. Like they travel like crazy. They do sankirtan, or they distribute books, or their life is meant for the benefit of others. So if we connect our life with them, gradually, slowly, we will start developing a little bit compassion. Maybe one day we will stop thinking about ourselves and we will think more about others. Practically, this is my observation. Ramroy Prabhu, would you like to say something?
Devotee's life is meant for the benefit of others.
Hare Krishna. Devotee's life is meant for the benefit of others. I think
Sadhu jivana. That means that the sadhu is
this is a great meditation for the day. Devotee's life is meant for the benefit of others. Think about it and do something about it. Maybe cut 5 minutes from your breakfast and go out on the street and show the books to someone. Or go on a Harinam 5 minutes every day. Do something about others. Hare Krishna. Yes, sir.
you could refer to the chapter 8 or 9, Ādi-līlā, the tree of devotional service, and this is explained very nicely how Lord Chaitanya is saying that that a devotee's life is meant to benefit others, like a tree gives fruits and flowers and shade and trinadapi without asking anything in return.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you very much. Jantarachi Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Samarika Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hitai Gaura Premanandi. Shri Prabhupada ki